When the promise feels delayed, there is a moment in every journey with God. When the promise is clear, but the path feels confusing. Not because God was unclear, but because timing has its own wisdom. Many people lose faith not because God failed them, but because the process did not look like the promise. The people of Israel knew this feeling well. They cried out in bondage, and God heard them. He delivered them from Egypt with power. He opened doors no man could shut. He broke chains they could not break themselves. They left slavery carrying a promise of a better land, a land of rest, a land of abundance. Yet when they stepped out, they did not walk straight into comfort. They walked into uncertainty. They lived in tents. They moved daily. They depended on manna they did not understand. They followed a direction that did not feel stable, and slowly disappointment began to speak. They were free, but uncomfortable. Delivered, but unsettled. Promised, but still waiting. And when waiting became heavy, offense began to grow. They said things like, "Why did we leave Egypt? At least we had food there. At least we knew what to expect." They forgot something important. Egypt was familiar, but it was never home. Slavery can feel safer than transition, when you don't understand the season you are in. And many people today live with that same tension. God has already brought them out, but the promised life has not appeared yet. So they stand between what was and what will be. And in that space, offense whispers. Offense against the process, offense against the waiting, offense against God himself. But hear this gently. God did not delay Israel because he hated them. He delayed them because he was preparing them. They were free physically, but not yet free mentally. The wilderness was not punishment. It was preparation. A place to teach trust. A place to remove dependency on old systems. A place to shape identity before inheritance. If they had entered the promise too early, they would have carried Egypt into Canaan. And God loved them too much to allow that. Sometimes the tent season feels like rejection, but it is actually protection. The same is true in your life. You saw the promise. You felt the calling. You sensed where God was taking you. Yet the road has been longer than expected. The results slower than imagined. The comfort less than you hoped. And if we are honest, there were moments you thought about going back. Back to what was familiar. Back to what felt safe. Back to what required less faith. Not because you wanted slavery, but because waiting is hard. But God's silence is not absence, and his delay is not denial. Look at Joseph. Joseph saw his destination early. He dreamed of greatness. He saw himself rising, but the path did not match the vision. He was betrayed by those closest to him, sold, forgotten, imprisoned, and from the outside, it looked like failure. But prison was not punishment. It was quarantine, a divine holding place. While Joseph was hidden, God was protecting him from premature exposure, protecting him from pride, protecting him from political danger, protecting him from being elevated before he was ready. The prison refined his character, sharpened his discernment, taught him patience, prepared him for leadership under pressure. If Joseph had risen too early, the weight of authority would have crushed him. So God allowed the delay, not because Joseph was wrong, but because the timing had to be right. And this is where many people misunderstand God. They think delay means disapproval. They think hardship means rejection. They think silence means abandonment. But often delay means alignment. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. You are not being ignored. You are being preserved. You are not forgotten. You are being formed. The wilderness did not cancel Israel's promise. The prison did not cancel Joseph's destiny. And your current season is not canceling yours. The problem is not the delay. The danger is offense. Because offense makes people romanticize Egypt. Offense makes people abandon the process. Offense makes people quit right before alignment. You must be careful not to despise the season that is preparing you. Not every quiet season is empty. Not every slow season is stagnant. Not every closed door is rejection. Some doors close to protect the promise. God's timing is not slow. It is precise. And when the time is right, what took years to prepare will unfold suddenly. So if you are in between promise and fulfillment, between calling and clarity, between freedom and fullness, do not go back. Do not let offense speak louder than faith. The tent is temporary. The prison is purposeful. The waiting is working. You are not lost. You are becoming.